everyone. Welcome to the first lesson of this week's reading sessions that we're going to be doing this week. There's going to be 3 sessions altogether. So I'm going to share my screen with you and start. So in today's reading session, we're going to be looking at a new text, and we're going to be looking at some different meanings of unfamiliar words. So we're going to be using our explain skill. Tomorrow we are going to be using the same text, so we'll read the text again, and we're going to be using our retrieval skills, and we're going to be answering some questions. And then on Thursday, we're going to be using the same text again, and we'll be using our inference skills to answer some inference questions. Okay. So before we start our new text, we're going to start by looking at another picture. So I know that sometimes we read texts without pictures, but I do love to look at pictures still. I still love my picture books, as I know that a lot of you do. So here we've got a picture which is taken from The Mysteries of Harris Burdick by Chris van Allsburg. Okay, so we're going to look at some different questions about this picture using our different reading skills. And the first one is our explain skill. So what does the word threatened mean? Pause the video and have a think about that for a second. Well done. So threatened means that you feel very vulnerable, or you feel that you are at risk of being harmed, or that you might be in danger. So this man here feels threatened by what he's seen under the carpet. The next skill we're looking at is retrieval. So we need to look at the picture to find out the answer to this question. The question is, what is the man holding? That's right, he is holding a chair. Next question is our interpret skill, so our inference skill. We need to think a little bit between the lines for this one. It's not quite obvious. What do you think is under the carpet? Have a little think about that one, about what it looks like, what you think might be under it. You can pause the video and have a think. So, lots of you might have put different answers for this one, which is absolutely fine. I think, well, it can't be a spider, because you wouldn't get a spider under the carpet that big. So I know it's not a spider. Maybe it might be a mouse or a rat or some sort of animal. What did you think? Okay. And the last question for our picture today is, why hasn't Chris van Allsburg, who is the author of this book, why hasn't he shown you what's under the carpet? Pause the video and have another think. Okay, well done for answering those questions. I think for that last question, he hasn't shown us because he wants to make a little bit of suspense in the story, a little bit of excitement. So it's a bit of a mystery, and the book is called The Mysteries of Harris Burdick. So I think he wants it to be a mystery at the moment and to keep the readers engaged in the book. Okay, so today our new text is an extract from the story Matilda. So you may know this story already. So let's read it. By the time she was 3, Matilda had taught herself to read by studying newspapers and magazines that lay around the house. At the age of 4, she could read fast and well, and she naturally began hankering after the books. The only book in the whole of this enlightened household was something called Easy Cooking, belonging to her mother. And when she had read this from cover to cover and had learnt all the recipes by heart, she decided she wanted something more interesting. "Daddy," she said, "do you think you could buy me a book?" "A book?" he said. "What do you want a flaming book for?" "To read, Daddy." I want you to have a little think about any words or new vocabulary you're not quite sure of in this part of the story. Write down those words on a piece of paper in your writing book, please. And you're going to have a go at finding out what those words mean. Okay, so pause the video here and write down some words that you don't know that you're going to find out. Okay, I'm going to read the next part of the extract from Matilda. And again, I want you to think about the words that you are not familiar with. Okay? "What's wrong with the telly, for heaven's sake? We've got a lovely telly with a 12-inch screen, and now you come asking for a book? You're getting spoiled, my girl." Nearly every weekday afternoon, Matilda was left alone in the house. Her brother, 5 years older than her, went to school. Her father went to work, and her mother went out playing bingo in a town 8 miles away. Mrs. Wormwood was hooked on bingo and played it 5 afternoons a week. On the afternoon of the day when her father had refused to buy her a book, Matilda set out all by herself to walk to the public library in the village. When she arrived, she introduced herself to the librarian, Mrs. Phelps. She asked if she might sit a while and read a book. Mrs. Phelps, slightly taken aback at the arrival of such a tiny girl unaccompanied by a parent, nevertheless told her she was very welcome. Okay, so pause the video again here and write down any unfamiliar words and see if you can find out the definitions of them. You can use a dictionary, or you could search on the internet with the link provided on the homeschooling timetable. Okay, so pause the video, off you go. Okay, so I wonder if some of the words that you found were some of the words that I have highlighted as well. Quite possibly they are. So I have highlighted naturally, hankering, enlightened, spoiled, hooked, refused, librarian, taken aback, so I wasn't quite sure what that meant, that phrase, unaccompanied, and nevertheless. So I'm going to go through the words, and if you have written some of these words down in your book, then you can see if you've got those ones right. Okay. So naturally. Naturally means to indicate that you think something is really obvious and not at all surprising. Hankering, a strong desire to have or do something. So it said in the text, she was hankering after books. She had a strong desire. She really wanted to read some more books. Enlightened, to have something clearly explained to you or to have a lot of knowledge. If you're enlightened, it means you're gaining lots of knowledge. Spoiled, If you are spoiled, it means you've been given something, or you've been given lots and lots of things, everything that you ever want. And then you may, because of that, behave in a rude way to other people. So her father, Matilda's father, said that she was spoiled in that story. So he thought she had everything she wanted and she was being rude by asking for a book. Hooked. If you're hooked on something, it means you're addicted to it and you really want to do it all the time. So Matilda's mother was hooked on bingo and she played it 5 times a week. Okay, and the last 5 words I've got. Refused means to have declined to do something. You're not going to do something if you refuse to do it. It means you're not doing it. Librarian. A librarian is a person who works in a library, and in this story, Mrs. Phelps was the librarian in the library that Matilda went to. Taken aback means surprised or shocked. She was very surprised to see Matilda in the library. Unaccompanied means to do something by yourself, to do it alone. Means you don't have anybody else with you. And nevertheless means in spite of something, you're still going to do it. Okay? So your task today now, after you've thought of all those words, those unfamiliar words, I want you to choose at least 3 of those words and choose words that you didn't know the meaning of before. You may know it now because I've explained a lot of words, or you may have found out the meaning by yourself, but choose 3 words that you didn't know before the beginning of this lesson. And you can either write those words out in a sentence, or you can draw a picture that represents the meaning of that word. So I have chosen one of the words refused, and I've written this sentence. Sam thought she was angry because he had refused to tell her his secret. And then I've got a picture there with a child with their hand up, refusing to do something. So he has refused. Okay, so I want you to choose at least 3 words, and if you do more than 3 words, that's brilliant. If you want to do more, that's fine. So you're going to write a sentence with the word in, or draw a picture, or you could do both. You could write a sentence for each word and draw a picture. Okay, and don't forget to upload those your work onto Padlet for us to see. Okay, good luck, and I'll see you later. Bye.